history of the Subaru Impreza. Recently I've been reigniting my passion for Subarus and just bought myself a 2006 Impreza R Sport, which I found out is one of the rarest Impreza Sports available in the UK. Now my content for the foreseeable future will be highly Subaru orientated. I will be doing a lot of work on my own Subaru to make this car the best one available in the UK. And this will also be a start of a journey towards my childhood dream of building my own Impreza STI. So before we go on to this journey, I thought let's take a look back through the ages of the Subaru Impreza. So let's rewind 27 years when I was just 5 years old.
Vooruitzonderlijk, extraordinaire. De Subaru Impreza Plus.
And we find the Mark I Subaru Impreza. First manufactured in 1992 until 2000 and was such a success largely due to a fellow Scot, Mr Colin McRae from Lanark in Scotland. McRae was signed professionally to drive for the ProDrive Subaru team in 1991 in the Subaru Legacy and raced in the British Rally Championship, which he won 2 years running in 1991 and 1992. But he soon graduated into the Subaru factory team at WRC level and went on to win the driver's title in 1995 with the infamous 555 blue and yellow Subaru Impreza.
Of the way. The spectator head count for this year's RAC rally over 2 million. And Colin McRae was being cheered by every single one of them. Even the bagpipes echoed through the mountains of Wales. But McRae was heading for being Britain's first ever World Rally Champion. Riding with McRae onto the final stage, you can almost hear the crowd inside the Subaru Impreza.
Narrows into 6 left, into 3 right plus over crest, opens maybe into 6 crest, 200, 6 crest, 400, 6 crest and 6 crest, 50 to stop. Yes, spot on. That'll do for me, eh?
More celebrations with the Subaru team.
Right, cheers for the new world champion!
Colin McRae, 1995 World Rally Champion.
Sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? I think it'll take a while to settle in.
The standard Impreza was nothing special but the turbo version and high performance WRX and STI models that arrived in 1994 provided you with rally thrills for a fraction of the cost of other regular sports cars. The UK market was also saturated with grey import Imprezas, which were being sold significantly cheaper than the official UK cars. In addition to the Subaru's low price, Subaru were tough built and quality made cars, which made them a brilliant all-rounder. The Mark I also laid the foundations for the original limited edition Impreza 22B and RB5. These were based on the WRX and STI model and introduced in 1998. The Impreza 22B was a wide-bodied coupe made to celebrate Subaru's third WRC manufacturer's title. Also, the 22B was a very limited edition with only 424 being manufactured and only 444 of the Impreza RB5 being manufactured, which was to celebrate the return of Richard Burns to the WRC team. Both of these limited edition cars were finished in gunmetal grey paint scheme, and most had the Subaru WR Sport Performance Pack, an option which included a new ACU and an exhaust system. Another of the most popular limited editions was the Mark I P1. So there were only 1,000 of these produced. Manufactured with a body similar to the 22B, the P1 was symbolic of the tie-up between Subaru and ProDrive. It was also the Mark I Impreza which sparked the rivalry between the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, which would come to define both of these cars. The Mark II Subaru Impreza finally joined us in 2000 and lasted until 2007. By this time, Subaru Impreza had proved its worth in the WRC and the showroom thanks to its cult following. Unfortunately, however, for reasons surrounded in mystery, they created one of the ugliest front ends the Subaru Impreza has seen to date, with big bug-eyed headlights that divided opinion among the fans, including myself. I am not a fan of the bug-eye. Even with all the upgrade lights you can get for them, it just doesn't do it for me. The car was done a disservice, I believe, in that mark. Thankfully, only 3 years later, Subaru raised the Impreza's front end, returning it to a more appealing front end. They also played it safe in 2006 in applying its new corporate front end. With the Mark II Impreza, Subaru stepped up their game in the power stakes, increasing the output of the Impreza's WRX turbocharger, increasing it from 221 brake horsepower in 2003 to 230 brake horsepower in 2005. The WRX STI Mark II variant was sitting with a whopping 281 brake horsepower standard. The best known special edition of the second generation Subaru Impreza was the WR1, which was built to celebrate Peter Solberg's 2003 WRC title win. There were only 500 of these cars manufactured, and all had ice blue paint, a revised ECU, exhaust and catalytic converters, which saw a power output increase to 316 brake horsepower. In 2007, Subaru released another WRC themed special edition Impreza, the commemorative RB320 model. This was to pay tribute to the 2001 world champion Richard Burns, after he passed away due to tragic circumstances. It was also between 2006 and 2007 that the Hawkeye was released, and this included my Impreza R Sport model, and I think they're the best headlights to date for the Impreza. As I'm sure most of you will know, this beast and how it reignited all petrol heads' passion for the flat 4 boxer screaming across the tarmac with pinpoint precision. It's your man Ken Block and his Hawkeye Subaru. What an absolute legend. Let's enjoy just a couple of seconds of this. So the Subaru Impreza Mark III, God. Again, Subaru made bold moves with this car's visual appearance, which could either have worked for them or against them. In this case, worked against them. I didn't like it, not at all. Even after seeing the beefed up version that Ken Block sported, it just doesn't scream Subaru Impreza at all. I mean, this one is cool, but what's it worth, like $1 million or more? Like, I'm not going to spend ridiculous money like that to take this granny mobile and turn it into... to that. And at what point did we go wrong when the bug eye is more appealing than this? I mean, I could accept the headlights on the bug eye. I wouldn't buy one, but it was definitely still a Scooby to the core. But this, what is that? Doesn't have the stands, doesn't have the same raw appeal as all the previous 4-door saloon / estate cars they were infamous for. Subaru did this in an attempt to broaden the car's appeal beyond the performance car bracket. So why call it an Impreza? Infamously known as the 4-wheel drive turbocharged rally monster, and make a car that doesn't have anything to do with that, but give it the same name. Doesn't make sense. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you think the Mark III ticked the box for you? Now, they did eventually bring out a 230 brake horsepower WRX STI version, but that wasn't until 2008, a year later, which would recapture the Subarus of old, in the power department anyway, but still just looked the same, dull, plain and boring. I think the styling of the Mark III Subaru Impreza has severely affected the brand, and this is coming from a true Subaru lover. At that time, if I had to choose between this and the standard Lancer and this new hatchback that can't shift more than a bag of tatties around your farm, I'd choose the latter all day long. Why? Because it's stuck to its roots. And to this day, a Lancer Evo does not drive past, and you have to spend the next 5 minutes explaining that, oh, that's the new shape Evo before the Mark IV. If you get the WRX version, it looks like an Evo. Like, that's just nonsense. It's an Evo and everyone knows it, and that's what it's always going to be. Just every year it gets a little bit faster, handles a little bit better, and looks a bit meaner. As for the Subaru Impreza, only the crazy design department know when the next ridiculous move will be made. I get why Subaru wants to compete. I mean, everyone loves a Golf or a Civic. Personally, I like the Golf more than the Civic. I don't like the new Civic look. I get it, it's a hatchback, but in order to enter the hatchback world, you can't just take an entirely different car from an entirely different category, change the shape of it and keep the same name and try and take over that category. What they should have done was carried on with the Impreza legacy, producing the biggest embarrassed mother Frankie in the category Subaru and Mitsubishi reign prominent in, and sticking to that.
In the not too distant past, you had a very simple choice if you wanted a fast four-seater rally car for the road.
Yeah, for one lap of the Nürburgring, you wanted the super sharp Mitsubishi Evo. For the journey home, you wanted the more comfortable Subaru Impreza.
As for the hatchback, why not take it to the drawing board? Design the fastest, the most nimble four-wheel drive pocket rocket the hatchback world has ever seen. Specifically designed to show the Honda Civic and VW Golf owners who the king of the hatchbacks is. But in order to make that anywhere other than the performance market, they need to produce a viable two-wheel drive car that can keep up with its rivals in that class of 1.6 petrol. Right now it's the ugliest, the slowest and the least economical because of the four-wheel drive. Like, if you're going to run a 1.6, there's no point in running four-wheel drive. I just don't see what the selling points are for this Mark III Subaru. Like, it ruined it. If it was the fastest, it makes up for the fuel economy. You know what I mean? You can say, right, well, it's the fastest out of the range, so that's why I've got less fuel economy. If it looks good, who cares about the rest? And if it has all three, well, you're the king of the hatchback class. But it doesn't, and it hasn't changed since 2007. Come on, Subaru, sort it out. Well, that was until in 2015 they did bring back the saloon, but it's only available in WRX STI version, which is nonsense. I'd drive a sport version of that all day long, but this, somebody please tell me what this is. I would rather have that. And now that's Subaru's problem. In the used car market, we're running out of models to buy at affordable prices, hence the Evo is becoming a more popular choice to bridge the gap, rather than buying this bubble Impreza. The WRX STI version is also out of most people's reach for at least a few years, until depreciation helps out with that. So if you had a choice between this and this, what would you choose? For me, it's the four-door saloon all day long. And when I win the lottery, I'll skip straight to the new STI. But if I didn't win the lottery, I'm not going to lie, I would probably want to buy one of these. Until the WRX STI became available cheaper, used, due to depreciation. And that's the sad state of affairs that Subaru Imprezas are in. So let me know what you think. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked what I've just shown you, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, turn notifications on, because the Subaru journey has only just started. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at TheMadGingerScotsman, as I'll be putting a lot more updates on there than I can do on YouTube. So if you want to keep up to date with the projects, what's coming next in the videos, answer some polls, that'll be great. I'll see you there. What I'm going to do is leave you with a sneak peek of 2018's WRX and STI commercial, and then that'll be that. Then I'll see you in the next one. Peace.